What's up, SNA fans? This is Super Ninja Austin back with another Super Ninja Austin podcast video. Which I should say the initials. This is 138th episode of the SNA podcast. This is the yes sir and ma'am. This is the AEW Dynamite review, part 15, and we're going to talk about the fallout show of AEW Dynamite after AEW Full Gear. And here's the results of what happened on AEW Full Gear. We got, Adam Copeland and Sting and Darby Allin won against Christian Cage and Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne. Like I said on my last couple of wrestling news videos ago. And also, what's your name? It's saying, and yes, sir, and ma'am, because what's his name? Christian Cage hits the TNT Championship. He was trying to hit Adam Copeland, but this is where Adam Copeland ducks and actually hits him. Then Adam chased him out of there. This is where they showed Sting hits a Scorpion Death Drop and along with a coffin drop and spear from Adam Copeland with the 1-2-3. We also have what's her name? Julia Hart winning the TBS Championship by pinning Sky Blue in the process. We also had Orange Cassidy retain his his international championship against Jon Moxley. We also had Toni Storm beat Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's World Championship and be the second ever AEW Women's star to become the AEW Women's three-time AEW Women's World Champion. And then we also have at 0 hour, we had MJF taking on the Guns team with Samoa Joe filling in for Adam Cole for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship. They won that match, but they attacked his leg, and then he looks like he was not going to compete. But it looks like Adam looked like he had to forfeit to the Jay White, to be the official champion. But this is where Adam Cole came in, stepped in. He was like, "No, if I have to do this for my friend, I will." And then that's when they booked it to be him later on that evening. We also had Eddie Kingston retain his championship against Jay Lethal. And then what other match? We had the ladder match, the Fatal 4-Way ladder match, which Ricky Starks and Big Bill retained. And many more matches until we got the main event. It was Adam Cole and Jay White for the AEW World Championship. But this is where MJF came out there. He was like, "No, bad leg or no bad leg, nothing's not gonna slow me down from retaining my triple baby. It's nothing against Adam Cole, knowing that he's gonna mess up, but I doubt that. But that's what he was like. But I want to show how much of a real champion I am." And then I don't need somebody to retain it for me, and being known as the man that's depends on his best friends to do so. But this is where it wasn't easy. It was getting striked on by Jay White until he managed to put him away, hit him with the Dynamite Diamond Ring, 1-2-3, still AEW champion, get his Triple B back from the title thief Jay White. And celebrated with Brochacho Adam Cole, baby, to close out the show. But anyway, that was a little recap of what happened on AEW Full Gear. This is where we got Swerve Strickland up next, starting off the show on the AEW Dynamite, tonight's Dynamite, which is dedicating to the future World's End, which is on the road to AEW's future pay-per-view World's End. And then there was and half of the show was about the Continental Tournament, which it had matches like the likes of Jay Lethal against Swerve Strickland, and then on to the middle of the show it was Roosh and Jay White, and then at the main event it was Jon Moxley versus Mark Briscoe. But start off was with Jay Lethal, he brought the fight. Yeah, man, he just brought the fight to Swerve Strickland. Even though Swerve Strickland later on put on a offensive banger, but But we're gonna talk about that in just a minute. This is where Jay Lethal was hitting some strikes, throwing them outside, suicide dive. He was I'm gonna show him that I was made for this tournament. And then this is where he was like he was he was like, all right, come here, Swerve. This is where he throws him back in the ring. This is where Jay Lethal goes right and there he this is where he picks him up. He hits a right hand right into the face of Swerve Strickland. This is where he grabs on the bad arm that it was out knocked out. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Also, Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland, which I talked about because Jim Cornette criticized the match about why Swerve Strickland let Hangman Adam Page nailed him right into the face and the T bosoms, I should say. But anyways, Swerve Strickland even made an analogy. It's like a kid telling them saying the new scary movie's out and you can't watch it, whatever that means. But yeah, that I already talked about that. But just Swerve Strickland basically choked out Hangman Adam Page, got another victory over the Cowboy. But anyways, this is where Jay Lethal was pulling on and yanking that arm, trying to take it out of the shoulder socket. But this is where the referee counted the 4. He's like, all right, you can't do that. You get disqualified, and you'll lose the match. This is where he let go until Swerve Strickland came in and started hitting lefts and rights. This is where he tried to Irish whips Jay Lethal from the right rope corner to the left side. This is where he counters and hit him with a pulling closer clothesline right onto Swerve Strickland. This is where he does the two hands like if he was Jeff Jarrett, his Uncle Jeff, I should say. This is where he was about to get about to do the style and profiling walk, which I would say style profile. I would say the country music walk, I guess I should say. But he was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it for you. None of you guys deserve it. This is where Swerve Strickland Irish whip him around to the right side, after after trying to attempt to do so. This is where he moved. This is where he stopped himself on the ropes before he can hit a slamming maneuver. This is where he went right towards his right to the in camera's upper corner of the ropes. This is where he tried to go for. This is where he tried to go for a crossbody. Swerve Strickland rolls right under him so he wouldn't get crossbody, which is the ultimate comeback move in all sports entertainment. This is where Swerve Strickland goes right on the top corner apron. This is where he does this little middle ring inner springboard drop kick right onto the leg that was making Jay Lethal's leg hurt. This is where Swerve Strickland was giving him a lethal beatdown. No pun intended attended to Mr. Jay Lethal. But anyway, this is where he grabs onto his leg. This is where he kicks it. And this is where he elbows him right to the head. This is where he runs right through the left side and do a front middle drop kick on the right side, like when he was hanging on to the upper right corner of Tina the turnbuckle. This is where Jay Lethal's like, ow, he really brutalized my leg really bad. Ow. I'm not sure if I can continue this match. And Swerve Strickland's like, enough of the act. Yeah, you're. And this is where fans were chanting, whose house? Swerve's house. Whose house? Like when he was getting ready to hit the figure 4 leg lock, or more like the figure knee lock, because he put his knee right onto the left leg of Jay Lethal but in the beginning he made it look like a figure 4 leg lock, like the way he did it in the position. This is where he tried to do some chops right onto to Swerve Strickland that looked like that Gunther would be very envious. This is where he hit the slap on his chest right back. This is where he tried to go for it again, but this is where Swerve Strickland put his knee right onto Jay Lethal's legs, like trying to bend and crush him in even more, trying to shatter them in the teeny tiny pieces. This is where both men start throwing fists on one another. This is where Swerve Strickland Irish whips him right onto the left side of the ropes. This is where Jay Lethal does a double duck, like first in the front, like going towards the right, and then from the right, he tried to go for a back clothesline to Swerve Strickland. This is where Jay Lethal ducks out of that too, and then go for some kind of a backslide, but he goes for this kind of swinging arm drag, like pulling his arm, like rather than dragging him, instead like an arm pull, trying to pull out his arm out of his shoulder socket. This is where both men were down. I was like dang, like ow, like I bet Hangman Adam Page messed up the hell out of the arm from this past Saturday at Full Gear, something what Eddie Kingston would say. This is where Jay Lethal picks up Swerve Strickland. This is where he was getting ready to start messing up that arm and shoulder, start elbow striking the arm up onto the elbow right near his biceps. Like this is where he started elbowing it even more, like boom, boom, and start trying to bend it back, like so he can mess that arm up even more. This is where Swerve Strickland tried to let himself go, try to kick the side of the back leg. It looked like Jay Lethal hardly phased it. Because he started continuing to elbow that arm, and this is where Swerve Strickland finally got himself out. Like maybe Jay Lethal purposely let him get out of it, because he hit the striking right hand right into the face. This is where Swerve Strickland answered right back, and it also hits in the midsection. This is where Jay Lethal hit the double hand slap right onto the chest of Swerve Strickland. This is where Swerve went back and hit. This is where he tried to go for a right hand right into the face of Jay Lethal, but he blocked his head. But he gets hit with a back fist into the midsection, and then this is where Swerve Strickland was like, I think I just finally got him fully distracted, because this is where Swerve Strickland tried to go for the reverse fireman's carry, but despite doing that to Swerve Strickland, too powerful and painful maneuver, I should say, double P agony, not yeah. I say not acne, that's bumps and zits, but I mean agony, yeah. A double P agony words, and this is where Jay Lethal went right up and hit him with a backbreaker. This is where Swerve Strickland went right from behind, tried to go for a German suplex. This is where he's trying to get Swerve down, try to go for hammering the fist into the shoulder of Swerve Strickland. This is where he tried to go for a shoulder tackle on the Swerve Strickland. This way he dodges him by a second. He bounces right onto the left side ropes, gets German suplex by Swerve Strickland. This is where he goes for a rolling face buster, but this is where he gets shoulder breaker by Jay Lethal, picking up in the air when he tried to go for this rolling face buster. Again, messing up that shoulder, which I believe was that bad shoulder, into his left or right side, which was probably a genius move up from the former Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. This is where Swerve Strickland goes for a This is where Swerve Strickland hits a standing brain buster, but only got him a 1-2 ooh. This is where Swerve Strickland goes for I believe, my signature move, the Death Valley Driver, the most dominating move in all of sports entertainment. But Jay Lethal rolls out of it, raking the eyes in the process. This is where Jay Lethal got him right into a reverse, going for a Urias reverse DDT driver, like flip him up in the air and slamming him like if he was like Finn Balor or Goldust or somebody. This is where Jay Lethal goes right on the top rope onto the lower right corner. This is where Jay Lethal was possibly hitting either a signature or finishing move because it was very special, and it was because it was that lethal elbow drop looking like Macho Man Randy Savage because he has a reputation of playing the gimmick from his TNA days, right? But he did exactly that elbow drop right onto Swerve Strickland, right onto the middle of the ring. This is where he goes for the pin, but Aubrey Edwards counted to one. She counted to two. This is where Swerve Strickland kicks out at 2.999 double triple time. The 9, which is a negative 0.1 away from being 3. And Jay Lethal's like, I cannot believe, like, how can he kicks out of this? This was like, no matter, like, I'm gonna finish him off with this maneuver, like a move that I never miss. And then this is where he tried to go for his finishing move, the lethal injection. This is where Swerve Strickland, before he had a chance to attempt, this is where he pushes him right into the bottom. Swerve Strickland pushes him right into the lower corner ropes, like for him to run right towards him. This is where he tried to go for a hip toss, but Jay Lethal counters and hits a hip toss of his own, do a cartwheel in the process at the same time, and then hits a running drop kick right into the face. This is where Swerve Strickland grabs onto his leg. This is where he got into a head. This is where he did the stretch muffler, like putting his head and squeezing the back of Jay Lethal's knee and his whole entire leg onto his head, starts squeezing it like what Cody Rhodes did back in 2009 to Triple H in that Monday Night Raw episode. But yeah, but he turned it into some kind of like a single leg Boston Crab while he was doing it, like grabbing on his leg. He was standing right onto him, like with him on the ground, like while we was doing the single leg Boston Crab. This is where Jay Lethal grabs onto the rope break. This is where Swerve Strickland tried to go for that wheelbarrow driver that he always does. This is where Jay Lethal rolls him up in the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll up. But he only got a 2 even count. This is where Jay Lethal hits the crossface right onto Swerve Strickland. This is where Swerve was trying to escape, but it looked like nothing at first wasn't gonna get him to escape the hold, or not to mention Jay Lethal letting go of the hold unless he tapped out. And even so, it would still hang on to him for another 10 seconds, I guess, to confirm it. But like, fortunately for Swerve Strickland, that didn't happen because he rolled out of it, flips him over in the process. This is where he instantly gets a pump kick by Jay Lethal. This is where Lethal tried to go for the lethal injection, which he went right onto the top. This is where he goes right onto the bottom corner rope, go for that rolling springboard, but he gets kicked right into the midsection, like if Drew McIntyre hit a Claymore kick. This is where Swerve Strickland hits that back heel kick right onto the head. And this is where the house call, that's what it's called. This is where he goes for the double foot stomp right onto the face of Jay Lethal to get the 1, 2, 3, to declare him the first round winner of getting the 3 points into this Continental Classic tournament. And let me tell you a couple of the rules into this Continental Classic. Whoever wins the match, gets gets a point, but the loser only gets 0, obviously. But whoever gets the draw, I think they get a -1 or no, not -1. It was 1. They get only 1 point, like if it's a draw or a tie. That's like the rules, like onto the tournament, like whoever wins, lose, or draw. And I think whoever gets the most wins gets to face the whoever wins the first round onto the whoever's in the same league as them, like in the second round, they face them. Whoever wins that match, like they face face whoever's the one that lost the first round into the semifinals, I believe, and then and then and then the same same goes to the Golden League. Yeah, the Gold League. Well, I believe this was the Blue League, or was it? No, this is Gold League. This week was Gold League. With Collision, we're going to see some of the Blue League tournament into this Saturday at AEW Collision, which is the same night as WWE Survivor Series War Games. But yeah, congratulations to Swerve Strickland. He declares the winner, and he's going to face probably either of the two winners that's going to be in tonight. Who he thinks he's going to face that's going to win? Who's going to win tonight's matches? Next two matches onto the Golden League's side of the Continental Classic Tournament. Sound off in the comments below. We're going to move on to the. This is where we got Hook and this is where we got backstage interview with Shibata, Hook, and Orange Cassidy, and they were holding their respective championships like on their hands. And this is where Renee Paquette tried to ask him a couple questions into the backstage interview. This is where, before you can have a chance to answer Renee Paquette's questions, this is where Willa Yuta's like, "Hey, like Orange Cassidy, I saw what you did there, good old buddy. Like I saw you beat my teammate like this past Saturday. Congratulations, you very honest. But speaking of beating somebody in a championship match, you Sabata, it was like you little what he called Hook a little, what's that but after he congratulates and he's like, sorry to interrupt you on your big announcement tonight, but I had something on my mind. That's what he said. He's like, you did an orange punch in the beach break onto John Moxley. And then I bet your Greenhorn has learned a lot, like referring to Hook, like because they call him the handsome devil, which I don't say handsome devil. I'll say more like the handsome Tasmanian devil. But anyway, this is where Hook was like, you have a problem with me, Yuta? Like we can fight either here or in the ring. And this is where Willa Yuta's like, yeah, no, I don't have no problems. Like I'm just telling you, I'm just telling you, like, not telling you, I'm just asking and just saying, like you beat my teammate, and then also like you're probably just learning a thing or two because that's how you're getting better and better. Like I can see that, and this is where it's like, and then you Shibata, like you're walking around with my championship. That makes me sick and tired every time, and. And he was like, and he tells a Shibata saying, "Good luck in your title match at Ring of Honor, like defending your championship." He's like, he's like, but I recommend you to watch my what match stipulated was called. He told Shibata, like, he's like, good luck in your good luck in your trios match tonight with these two bozos, and these two bozos, and good luck for your title defense tomorrow night at Ring of Honor. And I recommend you to watch my I would. It was like I suggest you to watch my Peer Rules match because I'm going to take that championship back from you.
We're about to go to the grocery store, and I guess Trey's gonna stay here. He'll be sitting out in the living room.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
But yeah, this is where. But what y'all think? Like, what do you think about Wheeler Yuta being in a feud with Shibata for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship? And he formerly was the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. But I think he lost it to Daniel Garcia, I believe, or was it Shibata? I don't know. Like I've lost the track on the Ring of Honor lineage of their lower mid card championship. But anyways, we're gonna move on to the your longest reigning and defending. My apologies to MJF. Like longest reigning and defending AEW World Champion MJF, with also one half of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion with Adam Cole, with them posing like doing their boom pose like they do as a duo, like, and they were holding. They were had the Ring of Honor World Championship around their waist, along with MJF having his AEW World Championship around his waist. And yes, he has the Triple B back. Like, that's good for him. And this is where Adam Cole still was in crutches and his leg boot. This is where MJF had a walking cane. The cane kind of reminds me of the one that my grandfather has. But anyway, just because I forgot to tell you, he had a like a minor hip injury, which it's the paramedics had to quickly took him to the local medical facility. And then this is where local medical facility, like, because he had to get it back in place. But yeah, this is where Adam Cole went on the microphone. This is where MJF was walking around into in the circle into the in his cane. I was like, really? Like, do you really have to do that before you have to cut a promo? This is where MJF was like. He was like, hello, my good people. Like, in case, and it was like, and then sorry if my voice is in case if you notice my voice is hoarse because I chugged down a few booze last night. Brews. That's it. Not. That's like, so please bear with me, my good people. And this is where MJF's like, all right, now back to taking care of business. Like, ladies and gentlemen, he was like, ladies and gentlemen, and I definitely do mean ladies because we got some girls around here. I really like to get deep with. And no, I'm not talking about your pizza, all of you ladies here in Chicago. Because yeah, and he made a pizza. Yeah, he said the pizza joke, saying like I want to get there's girls that I want to get real deep in, and I'm not talking about just pizzas. That's what he said properly. This is where MJF was like, he's like, hey, ladies and gentlemen in Chicago and Illinois, the devil has arrived in Chicago. And I don't understand why I said Chicago twice. But anyways, this is where MJF was like, and he was like, your boy, he said, I retained my AEW World Championship, and I was only rocking in one leg and doing so. He's like, allow me to say so. Be quick about Jay. I want those 30 minutes that you are truly one of the best professional wrestlers in the world right now. That's the fact. However, though, nobody is on the. He said his catchphrase, and nobody's on the level. And then that's when he had his scumbag fans like chanting of the devil when he said nobody's on the level. But this is where MJF's like was looking and at the AEW World Championship is on the title defenses of all time. He's the youngest of all time. He's like the longest reigning of all time, and he's like, you know, we can all agree on this. And he's like, sometimes I can be a little bit too humble. I was like, well, maybe at this time I would say I would agree, but his old self, I would say not much to agree about humblings. But anyways, this is where MJF was like, well, like I'm gonna toot my little horn around here a little bit. You know what, Chicago? I'm just gonna say what we're all gonna be thinking. You are looking at the greatest AEW World Champion of all time. I was like, yeah, this current recent reign, like, is the longest reigning champion. He showed why he's the champion, and showed that he could be a fighting champion whenever he wants to, like having banger matches with the likes of Kenny Omega and Daniel Garcia and what's his name, and most recently from this past Saturday, Jay White, which I never really watched the match. I just saw it in highlights and hearing everybody else on YouTube that watched the pay-per-view and they recapped the AEW's Full Gear pay-per-view. But hopefully next Full Gear I'll be able to do so. Maybe I'll be getting very better at this SNA podcast business. But anyways, but yeah, he whatever match he had lately with this title defenses, they look like it's a reason why he should defend it. Like it's for a good reason. But anyways, this is where MJF said his catchphrase. He was like, because my name's Jack Freeman, and I am better than you. And then he have his fans chant the rest of the catchphrase, saying, and you know it. And then MJF's like, here's my bro Chacho for life. Like, he has something to tell for us tonight. And then this is where Adam Cole's like, I sure do. I get story time with Adam Cole, baby. And fans start cheering. He was like, and he was telling MJF, and we're also the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, babe. That was a little bit with Samoa Joe. That's all. Like, but with the good news is also there comes unfortunately the bad news now. Like, we are still the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. That's the good news. Thanks to Samoa Joe, of course. But it's like, but the bad news is like ankle injury needs some more healing. Like, I'm not even close to be able to be cleared by a doctor, let alone returning in the ring and to wrestle yet. So, and I'm like I'm I just like that's like a road ahead of me. Excuse me for a second. Yeah, Birdie Bird. Okay, Birdie. Are you doing all right, Birdie? There you go. Oh, if you need anything, just let me know, Birdie. No. Okay. Uncle Julian will do it. Okay. There you go. doing my SNA podcast. Uncle Julian is still doing his podcast. Uncle S. Anyway, this is where. Oh, I forgot something. What? Go, Santa, get over here. Okay. Come on. This way. Stay right there. All right. Anyways, he's like, yeah, like, but he's like, I'm getting like full ahead with my recovery, like speedy of recovery of my ankle, and I'm gonna work my total ass off of get back here to do what I love doing here. And he was like, I'm gonna come back here and 100% to be the best Adam Cole that I ever been. And then he's like, Max, like I'm really worried about you right now, man, bro. Like I'm off sincerity. Like I wish more to be able to be here, bro, by your side, but I can't. Like, and he's like the entire world, like it's gunning for you right now. Like we got Wardlow walking around, like we're trying to rip you apart, and then more importantly, the devil and his goons right here, and then this is where MJF cut him off. He's like, Adam, I gotta cut. What, Trey? It is put together right. You gotta find your other bridges. I don't know where it is. Uncle SNA has to help you out with that as soon as he's done with the podcast. Yeah. Oh, you found one? Where? Oh, be careful.
I know.
This is where MJF's like, and the day up, he was like, don't, you know what, I'm gonna cut you off there. That's what he tells MJF. Okay, 1 second. I can't be playing around like this. Okay. 1 second, Tway. Okay. I'm trying to do it like this. I'm not sure this is gonna work. See? Okay, I think I fixed it. Can I fix it when I get done? How about bring it over here? I'll watch Kaji while I play with it. Okay. I fixed it. Are you gonna be able to play with it now? Anyways, back to the segment with Adam Cole and MJF. MJF was like, I have to cut you off right there. I've been what did he say? he's like, when he was worried, like when Adam Cole's like, there's Wardlow, and then there's Devil and his goons, like after you, like because they want a shot at your AEW championship. It's like, well, I let you come right there, like baby, like you don't have to worry about me. And see, the day I was born, the Devil like screwed with the very furious anger. You know why, Chicago? And he's like, because that man didn't want no competition. And he's like, to the man behind my mask, like, I'm going to find you. And when I do, I've told you, the hell I send you to is going to feel like heaven. And then this is where that is, speaking of the devil, literally, the mystery guy inside under the devil mask, when inside starts chuckling, like, right onto the Titantron screen. This is where Samoa Joe came out there in the ring. This is where he went right up to he's like, and then he was like, yeah, like you, like, hey, Maxwell, like, yeah, we start off like teaming to face the Guns and become the, we retain the Ring of Honor Tag Team, like starting off your night right, and then the simple price of, like, and then you retain the championship, and then now you owe me a shot at your AEW championship. And then it was like, and then just like, he's like, and he was like, I'm pretty sure that everybody in Chicago knows that an honorable man honored their words and honored their things. And then, and this is where MJF was like, you know what, Samoa Joe, like you maybe should take a couple step backs because maybe you can step. First of all, you have to maybe you should step a couple of steps back because you smell like a skunk's a-hole. Like what the hell? Like, and I was like, what is up with AEW now? Like censoring their languages now, like more often than they usually would do. Maybe maybe it was a request from TBS to do this, like to make it less profanities used, like without being censored, I guess. They're trying to make it a little more like if it was a PG-rated wrestling show, like a WWE. But anyways, it is like, and then this is where MJF was like, secondly, like what, like I thought far and long, hard and long, I truly have, and then I fear I came from a reasonable and very mature response, okay? So, and that response is to the rematch request as as follows, of course. He's like, no. And and this is where Samoa Joe was very pissed off. He grabbed him by the shoulder. He was like, what do you say? Like, yeah, you're going to feel sorry about that. After all I did, like, I helped you out with your Bullet Club Gold problem. Now, this is how you repay me? And this is where Adam Cole's like, no, Joe, like, yeah, please, like, please, please, Joe, stop. I'll talk to him. I'll talk to him, please. Like, I'm begging you. Like, please stop, Joe. Like now, Aunt Maxwell, like, you're not gonna back up from a fight. Like this is just, like it, like you know, this, like you know, like I get this man. He's a killer. Like I took a bunch of cocaine a clutch just to know that. Like I had my fair share of counter for him. Like referencing like not only for the fact that he wrestled him already in AEW, but also his previous encounter in NXT back a couple years ago when he was in that feud with Kyle O'Reilly. When Samoa Joe braked it up, he put him to sleep. I remember that. But anyways, yeah, he was letting them know like I've been choked out. Like he's like, I've been choked out by this guy like more times than I can count right now. Like Samoa Joe is who he is. Like, but Max, that's what you are. Like these people, they don't just love you because you're a great wrestler. They don't just love you because you're a great interview. Like they love you because MJF says something is going to happen, damage is going to happen. And then he's like, you promised this man a championship shot if he can help you out with the guns. Like, so Max, you're gonna have to be a man of your word. I was like, yeah, that's true. Like, amen to Adam Cole, because when you say something, you gotta be on your word. And this is where the fans started chanting, "These are scumbags," start clapping. This is where MJF was thinking. It was like, perhaps Bro Chacho's right. He was like, "Hey, Joe, you want your match? Like, you got it. Like, right here tonight in Chicago, Illinois." And then this is where fans started cheering in Chicago, saying like, "Yay!" And he was like, "Nope, not here tonight." And he was like, "Nope." Like, no, because I'm not trying to give you the disadvantage, like, and blaming me for blaming something or making excuses for you why you wasn't ready tonight, and that's the reason why you lost your AEW championship by me. And my apologies, he didn't say no specifically. He's like, absolutely not, was his response. When the fans started booing, like, boo, and Samoa Joe's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, there's nothing against you guys. Like, it's just about this man right here is gonna be going on and on, probably making excuses and and then he's gonna be bitching about this into the internet the next day about like he wasn't 100%. Like, it wasn't fair. Like, I was in no condition whatsoever to take on Samoa Joe in that ring that night for my Triple B title. Like. And then Samoa Joe's like, well, Max, you see, like, I want the best version of you, Max. Like, I want the fully healed version, Max. I want the Max that's supposed to be the man that said he is, standing right in front of me right now. He's like, so I would say my world's in, like by world's end, like, in like a little bit over a month from now, you'll be well fully chipped in that ring, and then you'll be able to healthy enough to defend that title. That's what MJF is like. Let me get this straight. Like, you want me to wrestle MJF at the what he said? What's that Coliseum in Long Island? Like, it you like. Let me get this. He's like, let me get this straight. Like, you want to wrestle me, Maxwell Jacob Freeman, at the something Coliseum at December 30th at the Nassau Coliseum, in the most magical place in the world, like Long Island, and the Chicago fans did not like that. They started booing, boo. Like, I can talk about it. This is my hometown, people. I don't really give a flying flub. I was like, wow. Like, even though they censored it out, like, I was not expecting them to say that anytime soon. Like, I think that TBS is making them absolutely be PG on this episode, even though it really wasn't PG. And then this is where he's like, let's make a deal with close on. This is where the fans start booing, like, boo, it's not gonna be in Chicago tonight. And then this is where MJF's like, calm down, Chicago people. I love y'all's pizza. Like, so settle down. And he's like, let me say something to you, and you, Joe. Like, and once we don't like, it's like, that's as much as like wrestling you at Long Island is just like wrestling you straight from an alligator pit. Like, and he's like, based on you looking like these days, Joe, like, I imagine you don't have many options. And Samoa Joe responded back saying, like, I understand what this is, what you do. I really like I would really play these games and what he's. Yeah, I understand what this is like. I'm Like, I'm really good at picking fights. That's what he said, too, Max. And then he's like, you got to understand that all this worrying you to do the devil. And see, now on, you consider my property now. And he's like, and then no one's not going to touch my, everybody will be people won't be able and people won't be able to touch my property unless I say so. Unless they want them to touch my property. And he's like, wherever you go, I'll be 3 steps behind you. And then you think of like if people, and then even if it's time you're worrying about somebody coming from behind attack you, like, don't worry, I have your back. And then he's like, I'm gonna deliver the very best in MJF at the Axel Coliseum, and then I'll beat you on. And he's like, and I'm gonna beat you unconscious, and take your AEW World Championship in front of your friends, family, and everybody you know and that you love. And Samoa Joe left, and then it's official that it's gonna be MJF versus Samoa Joe on December 30th, 2023. Like the day before the last day of 2023. And who you think is gonna win and walk out of the pay-per-view as the new AEW World Champion? Sound off in the comments below. We're gonna move on to Orange Cassidy and Shibata and Hook, the international champion, the FTW champion, and the Ring of Honor Pure champion, against Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, and Jake Hager. Huh? You did it? Yay! But this is where we finally have Orange Cassidy as an announcer. Oh, Uncle SNA is happy to see you too, and he missed you too. This is what your Uncle SNA wanted. But anyway, this is where Orange Cassidy came in. This is where he was like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, I have a huge announcement. And then well, I'm gonna show you. It's right on the screen. I was like, wait a minute. Don't tell me he's bringing back. Don't tell me it is because Hook, and he used to team with Hook and Orange Cassidy. And yes, sir, ma'am, it's none other than Dan Flubbenhausen. And yeah, and he was right here saying like very nice, very evil, like the little sing along onto the Titantron screen, looking like an OTV. This is where he was ringside into Orange Cassidy's match. Hey, you're so cute. Oh, you're such a sweetheart. Hey, wee. I'll do more. I promise I'll do more.
Oh, good night.
Okay, go night. Okay. They're not pillow. Oh. But anyway, this is where we got we start with Hook and Matt Menard, which Matt Menard amazingly brought down the reigning defending FTW champion down. Tags in Jake Hager, goes for his mid rope splash, like when he was the All American gimmick on in his WWE days. You got your pillow, birdie. Oh, anyway, this is where he pins Hook, but he only got a 1-2 ooh. This is where he started yelling at the referee, saying like, "Come on, like do your job." This is where they start triple teaming poor Hook right in the match. This is where Hook managed to come back, hits a striking clothesline right onto Angelo Parker. This is where he started crawling right onto the try to tag into either Shibata and Orange Cassidy. This is where what's his name? This is where Angelo Parker knocks down Shibata right onto their corner into the upper right corner, upper left corner. This is where he tried to grab onto the Hook, but he didn't realize how strong Hook was because he started hanging on to him, looking like he can't pick him up like if like Angelo Parker thought he was 300 pounds. So Hook hits an exploder suplex. Hey, Birdie Bird. Hi, Trey. You. Anyways, this is where he hits. This is where he hits the exploder right onto him. This is where he finally tags in Orange Cassidy. This is where he ducks, hits a right forearm right to the face. This is where Matt Menard hits a clothesline, but he ducks out of the way. This is where he tried to go for a back clothesline, but he ducks out of that as well. This is where he goes for a flying head scissor DDT right onto Daddy Magic. This is where Orange Cassidy takes off his elbow pad off. This is where he tried to go for the orange punch, but he dodged the maneuver and spine busted him right into the upper left corner, which is Orange Cassidy's corner in this trios tag match. And I'll say this is probably the second ever wrestler next to me that ever countered the orange punch. This was, and that's at the corner. I mean, from the corner, he hits like a flipping spine buster like he used to do when he was the We the People gimmick. This is where he tried to go for a suplex, but he gets instantly countered by Orange Cassidy into a roll with a countering stunner that he usually do. This is where Shibata came in the ring right after he got tagged in by Orange Cassidy. This is where they start hitting some punches and chops and elbows like right onto each other, like a complete slugfest. But this is where Shibata hits the forearm repeated strikes right onto the face of Jake Hager. This is where he runs right from the left side towards back to Jake Hager, but he gets booted right into the face. This is where he's like, are you serious? This is where he goes again. This is where Jake Hager repeatedly hit him with the maneuver. This is where Shibata was like nothing's not gonna bring me down. This is where none of these moves, none of this boot maneuver is not gonna bring me down. This is where he runs onto the left side. This is where Jake Hager tried to go for a third time as a charm. He ducks right out of the way, hangs onto the ropes right. Prevent Jake Hager to try to do it from the right side. This is where he hangs on the ropes. This is where he hits a bicycle kick soon after like Jake Hager got his leg down. And this is where Angelo Parker tried to go in. This is where he gets hit with a nailing right hand. This is where Matt Menard tried to run in. This is where he hits a European uppercut right onto him. This is where Jake Hager knees him right into the midsection onto Shibata. This is where he hits him right to the lower left corner of Tina the Turnbuckle. This is where he tried to go for a clothesline. But this is where Shibata moved out of the way, which was the most genius move that he could ever done in this match. And then Shibata started hitting forearms and chops, and I was like, if I was you, Shibata, I'll be laying go light on the chops, so for the sake that you won't get added to the indie list of Gunther. And then this is where start hitting punches and chops repeatedly right onto Jake Hager. This is where he hits a right hand right onto I believe Cool Hand Ange. This is where he hits a on target drop kick right on the head of Jake Hager. I'll fix it later, Birdie. But anyway, this is where both Angelo Parker and Matt Menard did a double, more like a double axe handle into the back of Shibata. This is where Trey, later. Okay, put it right here. This is where we saw a double team. This is where we seen a triple team, I should say, not double, more like triple. This is where they try to go for like a triple power bomb. But anyways, this is where they try to go for a double power bomb. But this is where Danhausen distracted the former Jericho Appreciation Society members, and this is where he was getting ready to go for the curse, the curse to the fingers like he does. But this when he right after he took Jake Hager's hat, was like, oh, thank you for the welcome back gift, Mr. Jake. Mr. Jake Hager, I should say. Mr. Jake, like, I'm glad we put this on. I was like, man, I wish I had a purple hat on because I have my special Super Ninja Austin purple mask and cape on. That would go perfect with it. This is where Jake Hager is like, nobody messing with my hat but me. And then this is where he's trying to get it back. This is where he's trying to go for a closeout of Danhausen. Danhausen does out of the way. He had it on, and he does the hand maneuver, like, oh, and then he does the cursing point, and I'm like, he pulled the trigger that pointed directly right onto Jake Hager, and soon after he got cursed by the very very nice, very evil wrestler. He gets suicide dive by Orange Cassidy soon after. Ray, no, not right now. This is where Hook and Shibata hit their respective submission moves onto Angelo Parker and Matt Menard, like with them hitting the Red Room and the Sleeper, but they realized that what's his name's the legal man, Angelo Parker, Ruby Soho's future boyfriend. They switched opponents. He put the Red Room on him, and then what's his name, Shibata hits the Sleeper onto Matt Menard, but they both tapped out. They got the win. It was like the winner of Orange Cassidy, Shibata, and Hook was the winners of tonight's trios match. Like, and while also I want to point out that Orange Cassidy finally hits an orange punch right before Angelo Parker taps out right onto Jake Hager, which it was a guarantee, even though it wasn't the legal man, but it was a guarantee to use because it was gonna help him help his tag partner prevent him from saving preventing Jake Hager to save his friends, I should say. And thanks to the help of Danhausen, like helped them out of getting the trios match, and they couldn't do it without him. What? Sway you? Okay. I'm glad we helped you out with that. Okay. Hey, buddy. Oh, there it is. Oh, thank you. Hey, birdie. The eyes? Hi. Your baby? I'll be right back. But anyways, yeah, they all celebrated, and they couldn't do it without Danhausen. And what do you think about this for aligning with the four of each other? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. We move on to the next backstage segment, interview segment, which is Renee Paquette asking Adam Cole, hear from him tonight about, on behalf of everybody in AEW, about the speedy recovery of him, how he's gonna get back in the ring. And he's like, I'm gonna get to physical therapy and get back where I've always wanted to do. And then that is, and And I'm very happy that Maxwell Jacob Friedman stick to his words of becoming being a man of his words, of giving Samoa Joe his title opportunity that he asked him for like when he gave him an exchange to be his replacement tag partner. And it is where here we go, the embarrassing. I say the imposterous embarrassment of himself, the imposter embarrassment himself, Roderick Strong. I say Roderick. It don't even matter. Like, but yeah, Roderick Strong came in with his boys, the Kingdom, saying, "Ah," and he was like, "Adam," and then this is where Adam Cole's like, "Roddy, I can hear you. I'm like 5 steps away from you." And then this is where he's like, "Hey, how you doing, Adam?" And he was like, "Dude, I saw you on Saturday. I want to congratulate you, man. I miss you, man. Dude, Adam, but Adam, where was that?" And then this is where he was like, "Hey, do you see what happened the night before on AEW Collision? Like, he dropped me on my head. Like, Action Andretti, like, could have permanently injured me and ended my career." And this is where Adam Cole's like, "Roddy, shut the hell up!" He's like, "Just shut up for once, Roddy." Like, and he's like, "Can you get it through your thick skull that I'm no longer your best friend, and you just need to leave me alone and do." And he was like, "Oh yeah," he said it like this. He's like, "So do me a favor, Roddy, back the hell off and leave me the hell alone." And then this is where he stormed off with his crutches. This is where Roderick Strong's like, "What did I do for him to yell at me?" Like, and plus, our friendship is not gonna be over unless I say it's over. I'm like, and I was like. But he didn't say that. But I made it looking like by looking at his eyes like that. I was like, and if that was the case, if that's the case, then y'all still be best friends. Like, and he wouldn't have no choice but to hang around you. But yeah, like, thank God that does not have to be the case. Luckily, that's not the case. Like, thank God. Like, and I'll say for Adam Cole's sake, in the kayfabe perspective, of course. This is where we move on to the next match, which is or segment as a match or segment, which is Christian Cage in the ring with every. In the ring, he's like, everybody in Chicago, I thought we had been over this, like, and I thought I made myself clear. I was like, what? Did I tell them to shut their damn mouths? Like, I thought that was MJF's thing. Like, well, I thought that was partially MJF's slogan, but I guess he's not going to be using that anytime soon. Now he's a babyface, considering. So I think you're going to be doing this full time of telling everybody to shut their damn mouths. This is where Christian Cage was like in the humble defeat. And as you all know, this this match at Full Gear, when I didn't have the exactly go our way like I planned it to be. The fans were repeatedly chanting "what" when he started coming up with his excuses why he lost against his best friend Adam Copeland and his new friends or allies, I should say, Sting and Darby Allin. This is where he's like, "No, and he's like, I'm gonna put my hand over my heart and tell you all in sincerity, and like, your fans are saying what that I did not lose, and Nick Wayne did not lose, but Luchasaurus lose." And then he was like, and then he said, and he was like, that's very unacceptable to me. And I went home and I And how I get rid of this horror of this losing, or the stats of losing, and then that hit me like a ton of bricks. And that both of your lives, even benefited and gotten better since you've been associated with me. And fans are repeatedly saying, well, even though it was lighter, that since you're my children, it's time to recreate you both in my watch. And then this is where both Tony Schiavone and Excalibur was not understanding what exactly he meant by that. And this is where Excalibur even said, like, what the hell is Christian even talking about? And then this is where Tony Schiavone's like, I don't know, your guess is good as mine. And then this is where Luchasaurus said, get on your knees and bow to me. And I was like, really? Like, are you really going to do something that's totally most embarrassingly humiliating for poor Luchasaurus here? And even the comment, that's what the commentators even said. They were like, yeah, this is humiliating for poor Luchasaurus. Like, you're going to really try to think, yeah, this is very embarrassing. Like it is like, and then this, huh?
What's this?
Oh, Sam's? Oh, what the heck? I thought he was in here. Can you get him back in here? Okay, I'll get him. Come on. Samson, get over here. But anyways, back to the video. Christian Cage was like, he's like, I'm not sure what you understand this Lucha store. He's like, get down on your damn knees right now. This is where he kneeled down onto his knee. He's like, I thought long and hard enough for your name, and it came up with a new name, and you're no longer like yeah, he needs to lay down. I don't understand why he's still standing up. But anyway, this is where Christian Cage was like, you know, I thought of you having a new name. Samson, stay in here. Never mind. But anyway, why do I even bother? But anyways, this is where Christian Cage was holding up to his AEW TNT Championship, saying, like, you know, I've been thinking hard of come up with a new name, and that new name I thought of replacing Luchasaurus is Strex. A name of toughness, a name that means certain victories, and the word that never means defeat. You finally got it? Great. Okay. Let him close the door on him and make sure he does not. Yeah, thank you so much. But anyway, this is where Christian Cage he's gonna be something that reminds me of something from I used my whole entire career. You now be known as Kill Switch. I was like, really? Like, you're renaming him after your finishing maneuver? Like, where did this came from? And then this is where, or you're gonna be known as Finisher. Like, it's Kill Switch, yeah, which is his finishing maneuver. And I was like, when we see Christian hitting the Kill Switch, I was like, with something else to Kill Switch, like they better be careful mentioning that name, because Luchasaurus might think he's referring to them. He probably stare at him saying yes, like if he was Lurch from the what's that called, the Addams Family. You rang. Maybe. He's like, but this Saturday Collision, you're gonna show that you're gonna show that if you deserve this moniker and you deserve to be a part of me. And he's like, and you, Nick Wayne, and he tried to do the knee, and I was like, go on, stand up. Like, this is where he's like, oh, me, like, you asked me to stand up. Like, yes, yes, Nick Wayne, stand on your 2 feet. And then this is where he's like, you're like a son to me. you're like the son that I always wanted to have. And he's like, you're the perfect boy. Like, you're something in you that I never seen in another person. You are me. You're basically me in a young 18-year-old form. Like, like, like Nick. I was like, how is he you if he's not biologically related to you? Like, he's not even law related to you as your stepson. So I'm not sure if you should compare him to you. Even though he has that athleticism like you, that's not like what makes you entirely just like somebody. Like, unless you have so much in common with him, like that, you shouldn't compare him like if he's your son. Like, unless like unless if he's like related to you by law, like if he's your stepson. But I did not hear any any kind of document reports about you being his stepfather. So 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 therefore you're not a stepdad. But anyways, this is where Christian Cage said, I as is the you're gonna be known as the prodigy Nick Wayne. This is where he hugs his wannabe stepfather or self-proclaimed stepfather. This is where Nick Wayne's mom came out of nowhere. She was like, oh hell no, I gotta stop this. I gotta talk more sense on my son. This is what she was like Christian Cage is not the man that you want to be mentored by. Like, if you can just listen to me, you'll understand where I'm coming from. Like, he's not the guy you should be hanging around. This is where Christian Cage is like, all right, hold on. This was like, what are you doing there anyway, Nick's mom? Like, you are a terrible mother. And he's like, sure. Yeah, maybe you love your son, Nick. You may be like a mother, everybody should. And he was like, yeah, maybe you should love your son because that's how you're supposed to be as a good mother. But you. What he said, every mother, you love your son unconditionally, just like your mother should. But but that love unconditionally isn't good enough. And he's like, and he's like, and he was like. You were hardly a survivor for Nick. Like, you made $40,000 a year as a waitress. Like your son is a prodigy right now, like making his future millions. Like, he's like that's embarrassing for Nick. Like you know how it is to be a waitress. I was like what are you talking about? Like my mom's about to be a baker. Like, even though she's like has like a year away from finishing her pastries, being as a pastry chef in her baking school, but she still is on her way to become a baker though. Like that, like I could possibly be a professional wrestler by like any time, and as soon as I get started, like and I could be making my millions, and then she could be a baker. So there's nothing embarrassing about when somebody is working and doing something to survive and provide for their family. Like, so how that's embarrassing. Like, she's trying to help out her son, like of getting into this industry and have a better life. That's why she worked those years and making that much money to become a waitress. And he was like, but he also said, like, I can give Nick the world more than you can give Nick anything. I was like, that's not really true. Like, only more fortunes and maybe a little more fame. But huh?
My Michael.
Here you go. Where's your marker at? You should have brought this out when Uncle was not doing the SNA podcast. But you go ahead. But anyways, this is where he was like you know something else, like Nick Wayne's mom. There you go. But anyways, Yeah, that's not true. Only just a little bit of fame and some fortune. Like, what is money gonna do? Like, it's not like gonna show that unconditional love. Like, what you say, they start talking trash now. Like, yeah, like it doesn't do much on financial side of things, but when it comes to family, it does. But anyways, this is where Christian K's like, he's like, Nick would have disowned his father anyways because his father. And he was like, yeah, he would have disowned his father soon ago. It looked like a reference to Dominic Mysterio with Rey Mysterio. Because I was thinking like Nick Wayne's like an AEW version of Dominic Mysterio. But anyways, this is where he's like, he would disown him a long time ago. And he would have known that Buddy Wayne was not much of a better wrestler than Christian Cage ever was. He's like, and quite frankly, to be honest, like if you played the cards right, Miss Nick Wayne's mom, you things could have been a totally better life than it was very previously. Like that's a conversation for another day. Like I know something like right now. Like so, you better get the hell out of my ring. Go put your cards. Go put your cards in and start your shift at Dennis. Get your ass out of my ring. And then this is where Nick Wayne's mom was crying. She was playing. She did a really good job, playing this part very well. Looking like if this is really happening in real life. Like if she was really yelling at her. This is where he was like, "Go! I don't need your. What word I should use? I don't need your." I don't need your care here no more. And then this is where Luchasaurus stepped in right in front of Luchasaurus went right in front of Christian Cage. He was like, Christian Cage, move, Christian Cage. And then this is where he tells get down on your knees for doing that. He's like, you know what? He's like, I didn't stutter Luchasaurus or Kill Switch. Get down on your knees. And then this is where he was like, nope. He started shaking his head. And this is where Christian Cage is like, don't look at me at that stupid look on your face. Get down on your damn knees. This is where he's telling get on your knees now. And then this is where Luchasaurus is like, nope, nothing's not gonna move me. This is where he slapped him right across the face, fixing his mask. It was like, what he just did to me? And this is where Christian Cage, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. Because if you don't, I'm going to make you take off that mask and show off your ugly looking face to the whole entire world right now. And this is where he pushed him right onto, right onto the side. And he actually runs right into Nick Wayne's mom, which she was landing face. She was face first right to the canvas. And this is where the fans start chanting, "You effed up. You effed up" to Christian Cage. I was like, yeah, you damn right he did, because it could have been a whole lot avoided if he didn't demand him to get down on his knees or make him take off his mask and show off his hideous face. And I was like, wait a minute. I didn't know that was a mask the whole time. Jokingly speaking, of course. But yeah, kayfabe joking speaking. But anyways, how dare you tell him to take off that mask? Well, I thought he was really a dinosaur. So why are you making him take off his mask? This is where this is where Nick Wayne grabs two chairs, bringing him in the ring. This is where Christian Cage was getting ready to hit the concerto right onto Nick Wayne's mom. This is where he was like, no, I want you to do it. This is where he was at first taking it back, where he was like, but I do not want to show off my hideous face, so I'm going to have to do something to save my own career here in AEW. And then this is where he tried to put on do the concerto. This is where Adam Copeland was like, this is where we heard the Adam Copeland's theme music, think you know him. And then he comes out there, scares off Christian Cage, and then this is where he this is where he hits a clothesline right onto this is where or no, not a clothesline. He hits, I think he hits a spear right on, or was it clothesline? I think it was a spear. He hit the spear right onto Nick Wayne. He hits a big boot right onto what's the Luchasaurus. This is where it was a clothesline, and then this is where he boots what's his name right into the face, Luchasaurus in the face. This is where he spears Nick Wayne, and then this is where Excalibur's like, "That's what you get, Nick Wayne, for thinking that you can bully around and thinking you can think you can get away with being the most disrespectful and brainwashed and most sellout person, wrestler to be exact, in the world." But this is where, Adam Copeland spears him. This is where he puts the chair right under him. I was like, this is not gonna look really good for Nick Wayne's mother, seeing her child see a close look, witnessing her child getting concerto right onto the chair, right onto another again concerto, right on the two chairs, I should say. But this. I was like, but he did this to himself, and this is where Adam Copeland does it. Like, send a message to Christian Cage. I was like, hopefully he does this to Christian Cage, and finally somebody can Cheritos him once and for all. Which like he finally did it. You can hear the 10 hitting, clicking the other 10. He hit so hard right into the back of the head of Nick Wayne, like just like boom, like 10, like boom, like. And this is where the commentators, including Nick Excalibur's like, "Oh my God, he really did it! He hit him with the concerto." Like when Taz was like, no, I think about doing this, Adam. Like, no. And then even Nick Wayne's mama even was saying like, no, please, like show a little bit of mercy, like just let him be down and conscious, like with that spear. And this is where she looked away, like from looked away, like before he hit the maneuver, of the concerto. And what do you think? What's next for between Adam Copeland and Christian Cage? And do you think is it going to have the TNT Championship involved into this storyline rivalry between the former best buddies, the two Canadian best buddies? Y'all let me know down in the comments section right down below. We're going to move on to the next. And do you think they're going to, and also I want to ask, like, do you think it's going to be World's End or Revolution, which I believe is kind of a little far away from, and it'll be dragging the feud a little bit too much. So I'll say it'll be the best way to do it at World's End. Excuse me. This is where we move on to the next we move on to the next match, which is Jay White and Roosh, which Roosh was getting most of the advantage, beating him and throwing him right to the outside of the ring, hitting him face first right on Barry Barricade into the bottom corner. This is where he turned him around, throw him right to the right side, the lower right side, the upper right side, the upper left side. And then this is where he throw him back at that exact same bottom corner. Barry Barricade, former Bears. This is where Roosh got him back in the ring, hits a knife edge chop. Excuse me for a second. I can't do much. I still got to finish this podcast, but yeah. I'll be right back. Anyways, but we got Bruce hitting a knife edge chop, like, and then this is where he gets stopped right in the midsection by Jay White. He put him right into the corner, hit the devastating knife edge chop right into him. This is where Bruce put him right into the exact same corner, hits him with a knife edge chop, and start repeatedly doing it. I was like, it seems like Jay White and Bruce is added to the Gunther Envy chop list now, and they're about to get chopped with the biggest murderous chop in all of professional wrestling. This is where he hit the knife edge chop right onto him. This is where Jay White was down onto his knees, like if he had a heart attack, like because it looked like it was a heart stopping chop. And he started continuing to do chops, even when Jay White tried to do chops, but it was not hard enough, not hard as what he was bringing to him. And he started repeatedly doing those chops. This is where Jay White kicks him in the midsection, hits him with a right hand, hits him with a knife edge chop, repeatedly doing so. With the referee was starting his count, which only ended in 2. Which this is where Bruce started hitting chops, and the referee did his count, but he wouldn't stop until he gets the third chop. And then this is where he does the double stomps right into the shoulders, went right onto the upper the diagonal upper right corner turnbuckles, go back right into the right, and this is where he tried to go for the horns middle drop kick right into the lower turnbuckle, right where Jay White was sitting on, like sitting in front of, I should say, sitting in front of on the lower left corner. This is where he knew he did the drop kick, but he's like, no, my face too handsome. This is what Jay White looks like. And then this is where he's like, you really thought I was gonna actually do that? Like, you really not gonna do? And before he can really say anything, he gets kicked right into the face by Roosh. This is where Roosh does a backflip, do that pose like Sammy Guevara or Andrade, more like Andrade would do, like something that Andrade kind of started, like with that laying side laying pose. This is where Jay White was slowly getting back up right onto the middle turn on the turnbuckle. This is where Jay White hits him with the this is where Irish whip right to the lower left corner. This is where he hits a European uppercut right on him. Hits a single underhook or neither underhook suplex right onto the lower left corner of Tina the turnbuckle. This is where he only got 1, 2, ooh. This is where Jay White a spin around, like towards the lower right and in the middle of the upper right, like back into the middle of the ring. This is where this is where he hits a chop, like continuing to be maintaining his name onto his list, onto Gunther's list. This is where he started repeatedly doing it, like about 2 or 3 times onto the left ropes with Roosh. And this is where he took. This is where we saw Jay White Irish whipping Roosh right onto the left and to the right side, and then they try to go for clothesline. Roosh ducks out of it. This is where he ducks out going from the left, and he try going towards the right. Hits him running through the right ropes. Hit a running knee. Roosh hit a running knee right onto Jay White. This is where he goes for a suplex right onto Jay White, but not just any suplex. Like, it's the 3 amigos. Like, he went for a 1 amigo, he went for a 2 amigo, and then hit the 3rd amigo. This is where he tried to go for the 3rd amigo, but it seems like it's a very unfortunate move, like very unfortunately unlucky maneuver. Like when you try to go for the third amigo, but the third amigo is probably not there. Just like Eddie Guerrero sadly passed away, like because Rush was paying homage to the Latino Heat, which I'll say rest in peace to his soul. Like even though it was like 18 years, but it's from this month exactly. But I want to give all the wrestling legends condolences of a good send off in the past, rest in peace kind of condolence, I should say, and because it's very sad and it's too young for most of the wrestling legends for going at an early age. But anyways, but back to the recap. This is where Rouge hits a big elbow strike onto Jay White. This is where he tried to go for a suplex, which is the final third amigo, even though it wasn't the third suplex in a row, but it still was the successful third amigo, which was a guarantee. This is where he goes for a pin, but he only got a 2-point, a 2.6 count. This is where Bruce was like, man, why did he have to kick out at this maneuver? Like, I know it may not be the most powerful move, but it's still a maneuver that's still used very well. This is where the fans start chanting, "This is awesome," clap, clap, which I agree on them. This was perhaps the match of the night. Perhaps I would say very very underrated. Like we don't often get matches like this, which I believe this is probably a good thing in a way, because too much of a good thing could be a bad thing. But yeah, save special matches like this and special occasions, like what if it's a special episode of AEW Dynamite or a pay-per-view like World's End, Wrestle Dreams, Forbidden Door, Double or Nothing, Revolution, Full Gear, and All Out, All In, like whatever pay-per-view that AEW has. This is where Andrade starts. I mean, not Andrade. He kind of looks like Andrade without a beard. Bruce was patting on to the top turnbuckle. This is where he goes right up on the top rope. This is where he's gonna finish off Jay White. Try to go for that laying senton. This is where Jay White gets back. This is where Jay White gets back up. This is where he pick up Bruce, hit him with a suplex, like more like a brain buster. This is where he tried to go for a pinfall, but he only got a 2.9999999 count. This is where Jay White's like, how in the living hell did Bruce kicked out of that? And then this is where Jay White started doing the little luchador kind of dance. This is where he starts stomping on him, slapping on him, like if he was disrespecting him. This is where he hits a knife edge chop to remind Gunther that he is on the list, and he's trying to get a match with him in a troublemaking way, like because he's the Bang Bang Gang, like something that he would say. But unfortunately, we won't see Gunther versus Jay White match, because they're both signed in multi-year deals in their respective companies, unless both companies can agree with a partnership. But that's yet to happen, and that probably won't happen until a long time. But this is where Jay White, this is where Bruce grabs onto Jay White's arm. This is where Jay White chops what's his name's arm off of him. Bruce's arm. This is where Bruce hits a chop another heart-stopping knife edge chop right onto Jay White, and this is where because he also reminding Gunther he's on the list. This is where Jay White answered back. This is where he answers right back, which I don't know what that means. Like they start, but the point is they were doing some chopping, big more like little buff men slapping man meat, and they just start throwing forearms at each other. This is where Rush started throwing more forearms until Jay White started breaking the eyes and trying to gouge it out of his socket. This is where he got him distracted with that. This is where he started hitting single axe handles in the back of the head and neck of Rush. This is where he tried to go for the Blade Runner, but this is where Rush noticed this and went jumping up in the air and knee striking Jay White right into the face. This is where it runs right through the right side of the ropes because that's where their faces were pointing at. This is where he runs right towards it. This is where he tried to go for his finishing move perhaps, but he gets slammed with a Uranagi. This is where he goes for the pinfall. This is where he only got a 2.9 count, and then this is where Jay White's like, man, like how it can be so close, but yet I can't get the 3. This is where Jay White tried to go for the Blade Runner, but this is where Rush counters it, hits another heart-stopping shot out of nowhere. This is where Jay White does the same. I was like, uh-oh. Like, if they're not careful enough, like, Gunther probably could find his way to be Chicago, making his appearance at Chicago, Illinois early, like about perhaps 3 days early or 3 nights early. I was like, uh-oh. Like, we need to look out for Gunther because he could make his trip to Chicago in 3 days early before his potential event against The Miz, and he's gonna pay a visit with a little company that is all elite, and try to teach these guys a lesson and destroying them with his blade running knife edge chops, and then this is where. But anyways, back to the recap. This is where Bruce hits a knife edge chop, repeatedly doing this knife edge chop right on to Jay White. This is where Jay White started kicking him right in the midsection, stomping onto him. This is where he tried to go for a running clothesline, but this is where Bruce outsmarted him, dodging him in the process, run right through the left side of the rope, chopping him into the chest instead, and to go back with a knife edge. This is where he tried to go for a chop to him of his own, respectively. And this is where Bruce kicks it out of the way. This is where Jay White shoves him right through the left side of the ropes. This is where he tried to run and close on him out of the way. But this is where Bruce dodges it out of the way and bounced right to the ropes, hit the German suplex, looking like his brother Dragon Lee. This is where Rush goes for a super kick right onto Jay White, but he gets intercepted with a dragon screw by Jay White. This is where Jay White goes. This is where Jay White continues the knife edge chops repeatedly. This is where until Rush driven him right onto his head first, right onto the turnbuckle, into the upper right, upper left corner. This is where Rush thought he had him. He hits him. He clobbered him with the big elbow strike. This is where Rush tried to hit his big thunderous middle drop kick. This is where Jay White hits the Blade Runner, right? Try to go onto the Blade Runner, which I believe he was double cursed because he couldn't get it the second attempt.
So. I tried.
But anyways, Trey, you don't push it down. There you go.
Ew.
Okay.
Ew.
I say ew. Don't you want it?
Ew.
Anyway,
I want some.
here you go. Okay. Everything okay? Anyway, that's where I'm trying to go over Blade Runner, but he looked like he was double cursed because he knew he ran the right because he counted out of it. It wasn't a guarantee. This is where Ruth pushes him right onto the upper left corner, I believe. Not upper left, upper right corner of the turnbuckle. This is where he tried to grab him from behind. But it's where he kicked him with a low blow. But the third time was a charm because was his absolute lucky charm because he hits a Blade Runner the third time. He got the 1, 2, 3, and he emerged the second winner of the gold, I believe, the gold league. But yeah, like who thinks gonna win? Who thought was gonna win the John Moxley versus Mark Briscoe match that was coming up next? Y'all sound off in the comments below. We're gonna move on to the next slide, and that is we gotta recap Jericho and Kenny Omega like winning the match like against the Young Bucks, and then they remain as tag teams because the stipulation they stay as a tag team, like when they if they beat the Young Bucks, but if they lose, that means they have to no longer be the Golden Jets anymore, and for the rest of their career in AEW. Well, anyway, we saw the press conference like with Ricky Starks and Big Bill, like when they were getting interviewed along with Tony Khan, Chris Jericho letting them know that they're going to be the new AEW World Tag Team Championship. But Ricky Starks and Big Bill managed to attack them from behind, attack Chris Jericho from behind, and it looks like they're trying to injure him very badly to the point that he won't get his opportunity against them in the foreseeable future, of course. But without if that's the case of him not going to be being available to do, they will not do this tag team match, then that will be a bummer and be very unfortunate because I believe most of us fans like we're looking forward to seeing him and Kenny Omega team together and try to win the AEW Tag Team Championships. Like it looked very interesting to say the least. Like to see if Jericho and Kenny Omega can actually win, and I believe they could possibly do that. But it looks like if they still get that opportunity, they're still going to. This is where we got the time was Tony Storm like presenting herself like to as the AEW Women's World Champion. Like she got a few words to say onto the segment. Like Like she was she was on the cover of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Yeah, she was in the she was like it's an big announcement from Tony Storm that she was in the that big announcement was she was in the Pro Wrestling the front cover of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, which I'll say I would give her a huge congratulations for that, for her popularity and her talent in All Elite Wrestling and overall professional wrestling, like her time in Stardom, WWE as well previously. And then this is where she was presented as with the AEW Women's World Championship, like the AEW Women's World Championship for with from her biggest fan. What's her name? Mariah May, I believe. Yeah, Mariah May. This is where Tony Storm said, yes, dear, I'm your reigning defending AEW Women's Champion. I need my glasses to read my notes. And she was like, that's so embarrassing. I had nothing to prepare. I was like, wow, like I did not know she was in the front cover of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, or else I would have been prepared about this. But anyways, this is where Tony Storm's like, well, I'm gonna read this note right here. What does it? Let's have a look. And this is where fans are chanting speech, like speech. I'm like, really? Like this is a pro wrestling show, not an Academy Award show. So I'm not sure if y'all should be asking for a speech. And she was like, this is where she was like, this is where she had a note. She was like, I don't understand. I don't get why Mr. Anthony Khan called people at Warner Discovery, especially Jack Foreigner. And she's like, and this is where they start playing her theme music. Like, no, like I'm not quite done yet. Just got started. Like, and I was like, wait, like she just broke the fourth wall with their deal with Warner Bros. Discovery, and then even called Tony Khan his full name, Anthony. But anyways, this is where, and she was like, no, I'm not. And that's where stopped playing her theme. Like the women. Like, I want to thank all the women in the locker room, the fans, and he's like, and those little Tony Storms out there. She's like, smart. And I want those little girls that want to be May. This is my spot. You will not take it. Like, you will not win it. Which it could be a reference that it could be that could be Mariah May. That's what her name is, Mariah May. And she was like, so y'all need to stay in school, maybe get a trade. And the fans started, and she was like, thank you. When the fans start chanting, what? And this is where Mariah May was like, yeah, like, how inspiring. Like, especially seeing her right in front. And she started clapping. I was like, really? Like, she may be really talented and entertaining. That doesn't mean she's in her right mind by doing this. It's just like, woo, start spinning around, holding up her AEW Women's Championship. Like, and this is where she starts spinning around until Sky Blue interrupted, and because she had her matchup next against what's her name? Against both Anna Jay and Ruby Soho. I'll be right back. Before I get into that, I better get my dog. My nephew's dog. Sandy, get back in the room. What are you doing with that bag? Make sure it doesn't mess with the dog bags. No, Uncle Joey's not done yet. He got to finish a couple more matches recaps, and then he'll be done for the rest of the night. This is where we got we're just gonna get to towards the middle of it. This is where Sky Blue Irish hitting Sky Blue striking on Anna Jay, and then this is where she went right to Ruby Soho. This is where she Irish whipping right to the top right onto the top. Right onto the lower right corner of Rita the ring post. This is where she tried to go for that fine head scissors face buster onto Sky Blue right in the middle turnbuckle, but she gets flipped right over around the apron and hit her with a strike. She hit her with, I believe, like a right hand strike. She fell right on the outside. This is where she was on the apron next. This is where Anna Jay tried to hit her with a strike. She hits her with a right hand. This is where she got distracted by Matt Menard, I believe. This gave her enough time. Or was it not Matt Menard? Angela Parker, that's what it was. What's her name's Mr. Ruby Soho's Mr. Samson. Anyways, this is where we got Scott. This is where Anna Jay booted her out of the apron onto the right side on the ringside area, I believe. This is where Matt Menard was like, "You don't have nothing on Anna Sky Blue." That's what Matt Menard said, something like that. Like this is where it's dope, and this is where we saw Anna Jay doing what's that? Trying to crush Sky Blue's hips and torso, like trying to bend it on sideways, right, like into way too much onto the right side, like bending it back like this, like and twisting it, and then bending her head like onto bending and trying to twist her apart, like from her lower half and her upper half, trying to twist her lower and upper half apart, like using the lower right corner Rita the ring post and as an advantage, using it as an advantage using it as in their advantage onto the Rita the ring post, trying to twist it out with the Rita the ring post weapon. This is where she throws Sky Blue and back in the back end, but she got thrown out into the left side of the ringside area. This is where it was a Sky Blue and Ruby Soho. She started hitting punches and chops onto Ruby Soho. This is where she goes for a running strike, but this is where Ruby Soho counters. This is where we saw she landed hit her right into the upper right corner of the ring post. This is where she started hitting strikes onto Sky Blue. This is where Sky Blue this is where Anna Jay comes in. This is where she brings down Ruby Soho. This is where Sky Blue goes for a Code Blue, but she gets hit with a gory bomb by Anna Jay. This is where she tried to go for a pin, but luckily Ruby Soho was thrown in by her tag partner Saraya. She came for a save. She was like, "Yes, my darling, thank you." Like this is where Ruby Soho throws Anna Jay out of the ring. This is where Saraya's like, "Good job, Ruby." And this is where Matt Menard trying to grab on the Ruby Soho's leg. This is where Saraya's like, "Hey, what the hell are you doing? Like, don't grab on my friend's leg like that. Like, it's already bad enough that your best friend or your best friend or brother or whatever you want to call him, like, I have some kind of a weird crush on my girl here, like." And then this is where Sky Blue hits a right hand right onto Ruby Soho's face, into the right side on the ropes with her being between in and out of the ring and between the apron. This is where she Irish whips her right onto the Irish whip right to the in the upper left corner, I believe. And this is where Matt Menard and Saraya was still arguing because they have some bad blood with each other, especially for both of their best friends or brother and sister having a crush on one another. Like, well, on screen is brother and sister. But anyway, this is where Ruby Soho tried to counter out of it. This is where Sky Blue pull her back, knee her right into the face. This is where we're seeing a second knee strike. This is where Ruby Soho hits a bicycle kick, or pump kick, I should say, when Ruby Soho was still hanging off the apron on the left side. This is where she was hanging. This is where she kicked right off the apron. This is where she got her. This is where she got saved by her future, I guess, on-screen boyfriend, Angelo Parker, which that she was hanging on to him. This is where. This is where she was still hanging on to him, like if they were about to kiss. I was like, luckily that didn't happen. This is where Ruby Soho and Angelo Parker's like, hey, like what y'all doing here? Like get away from each. And then this is where Matt Menard's like, you put her down at this instant right now, Angelo. Like put her down, bro. And then this is where Ruby Soho's like, what are you doing? Like get. And this way, Saraya grabbed Ruby Soho off of Angelo Parker from her hair. She was like, ow, like, what's your problem? Like Ruby, like it was nothing between me and Angelo. Like he just helped me out for just a bit. Like, can't you just appreciate that about him? And then this was just like no, like you know you're not supposed to. Hang around nowhere near him, and he's nothing but trouble. Like he's not in your best interest. Like if you don't believe me, like you're just nothing but a slut. Like, but she did say that part. Like you are a slut. I was like, just because like she allow him to catch her like that from getting kicked and getting hit on that unforgiving concrete floor. But this is where Anna Jay tried to go for the Queen Slayer. Sky Blue flips right off of her forward. This is where she hits a super kick. Hit that sky super kick. This is where she picks up into a firewoman's kick. Sky hitting that hits her with that fireman's cutter or firewoman's cutter. She got the 1, 2, 3. And she got the win of the night. Up next, we got Mark Briscoe against John Moxley to see who's in his third tournament round from the Gold League, because the Blue League is going to be the Saturday at AEW Collision, the same night is WWE Survivor Series Premium Live event. And let me tell you, this was definitely the second match of the night. Like, I'll say Jay Lethal and the Swerve Strickland match, third match of the night, and number one match. I'll say this was the second match of the night. John Moxley and Mark Briscoe. They show like why should they win this match so they can get the early advantages like of the tournament. But anyways. I'll say the only disadvantage of being the advantage of the tournament is facing the other winners, and it'll be a tough task to handle into the second round, of course. But this is where John Moxley hits a forearm right to the face of Mark Briscoe. This is where John Moxley he really just nipped me with a right hand, hook like that. This is where he hit. This is where he hits the right hand back at Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe hits the right hand right onto him. This is where they started going back and forth with the right hand, like, This is where John Moxley hits the right forearm, but Mark Briscoe answered back with a right forearm. This is where he kicks him right in the midsection, and then afterwards hit a knife edge chop. John Moxley was like, all right, like he asked for it now. This is where he hit the chop back. This is where he hit the chop afterwards. This is where I guess made John Moxley kind of pissed off. He tosses him right to the lower left corner. But oh yeah, the number one match of the night was definitely Jay White and Roosh. But I'm gonna talk about that in just a minute. But this is where John Moxley starts stomping on to Mark Briscoe. This is where he hits a right hand right onto Mark Briscoe, right onto the upper right corner. This is where he flips right over. This is where he tried to go for a clothesline him out of off the apron on the right side. This is where he counters, hits a spiking right hand right into the throat, like if he was doing some kung fu, I guess, or country kung fu, I should say. But anyways, this is where he started hitting the knife edge chop repeatedly right onto Mark Briscoe, and he went right on the top. He started punching him, trying to go for the 10 beats to the head onto the near the lower right corner, and he started biting him in the head. But this is where Mark Briscoe throws him out, into the left side of the ringside area. He hits a sliding striking kick a sliding diving kick right onto the face of John Moxley. His knees went down and he fell down. This is where Mark Briscoe went right onto the apron. This is where he hits a running, swinging blockbuster neck breaker, which looked like an amazingly brutal maneuver I've ever seen in professional wrestling. This is where he throws Moxley back in the ring, looking like he was about to win and be the third guy next to the Jay White and what's his name? Jay White and Swerve Strickland. But anyway, and send him with and about to send Moxley to join join Jay Lethal and Roosh in the disadvantaged side, and he was looked like about to join the winning club, but unfortunately that didn't happen. This is where he tried to go for a forearm. This is where John Moxley answered back, and then this is where the fans in Chicago was cheering yay for Jay. Not Jay, not his brother, Mark Briscoe. But I would say I want to send my deepest condolences and rest in peace to the sad, tragic passing of Jay Briscoe at the age of, I would say at the age of 39, I believe. I forget, but anyways, this is where Mark Briscoe was getting cheered, but getting booed but John Moxley was getting booed. John Moxley was getting booed, and that's what they would keep doing repeatedly, yay, boo, until they both got tired. This is where John Moxley puts knocks Mark Briscoe right into the lower. I'll say the lower right corner of Tina the turnbuckle. Excuse me. This is where John Moxley started hitting the brutal punches right onto Mark Briscoe, which we probably could hear some lower voice boos waving into the arena. And I don't get John Moxley sometimes. He's more like a tweener rather than either of a heel or a babyface as a wrestler. And I'll say when he faces a heel, he's like a full-time babyface, while it's the complete opposite. He's a full-time heel when he's facing a babyface. He can go either way. Which I would say I wouldn't mind him being either a heel or a face, but only one or the other for a while until he turns. That would make sense on the wrestling paper. But anyway, this is where John Moxley Irish whips Mark Briscoe right onto the upper left corner, but he jumps right over the top rope onto the top the top edge side of the apron. This is where John Moxley tried to go for a big boot, which he successfully plants right on the face with Mark Briscoe. This is where he was down, like, for nearly the 10 count. But this is where John Moxley got him back in. This is where he was messing with his arm, like twisting it and bending it back. This is where he starts stomping him real bad, like poor Mark Briscoe. This is where he was not kicking out. This is where like nothing was not bringing down Mark Briscoe. This is where he tried to go for a power bomb, but this is where not about a pile driver. This is where he tried to go for a 2 count. This only got a 2.999. This is where Mark Briscoe hits his signature move, but he only got a 2.99999. This is where he picks him up. This is where he tried to go for I pick him up. This is where I believe he tried to go for I believe his finishing maneuver, but this is where John Moxley rolled out of it. Like, no way, Jose. This is where I believe he hit a suplex right off the top rope, was it? And then he gets him back up, hits him with the Death Rider, got the 1, 2, 3, and he declared the third man to win the tournament onto the Gold League side of the Continental Classic tournament. And that's how AEW Dynamite ended, with John Moxley celebrating like his latest win, and he's gonna be joining Swerve Strickland and Jay White. That's right. While Mark Briscoe will be joining Jay Lethal and Roosh on to the second round next week. We'll see who's gonna win in the semifinals. I mean, who's going to win and who's going to be going to the semifinals. And then this Saturday, we will have Eddie Kingston take on Brody King. We'll have Daniel Garcia taking on Claudio Castagnoli. And last but not least, Bryan Danielson against Andrade El Idolo into the Blue League side of the tournament. And who do you think is going to win those matches, which I believe it will be Claudio Castagnoli, Eddie Kingston, and Bryan Danielson. Yeah, that's my predictions, and they're gonna probably face each other in a probably 3-way. I think that's how, like, the winner gets to face in the 3-way and against the other whoever the losers are. They whoever loses, they be in the 3-way, and then they face whoever wins that match, and whoever wins the winner's side's match, they're gonna face each other one-on-one in the semifinals. I believe that's what this little turmoil tournament is kind of like. It's like a little turmoil tournament. But yeah, who do you think's gonna win? Who's gonna walk out? Is the AEW Triple Crown, AEW Ring of Honor / New Japan Pro Wrestling Triple Crown Championship, with Eddie Kingston putting his Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship and New Japan Strong Openweight Championship on the line, along with AEW's new Continental Championship, which it kind of sounds a little too similar to an Intercontinental, except it's not without the Inter. But anyways, but yeah, we're gonna see who's actually gonna be a Triple Crown, to be champions of champions of champions, and a champion of champions, like for both AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and what you're doing with that basket. But anyways, but yeah, but who you think's gonna win? I think it's gonna be either Eddie Kingston or Jay White, or even a Roosh. But yeah, well, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. But yeah, that was your list of. But yeah, that was your recap of AEW Dynamite. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and And also, what you thought about tonight's AEW Dynamite? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And about that as well. We also like, excuse me, Birdie. But anyways, I would give tonight's NXT. Oh, Tree. Don't keep stepping on it. But anyways, I'll give tonight's AEW Dynamite 3.5 out of 5 stars, of course. And what do you think about how much y'all would rate AEW Dynamite tonight? Y'all sound off also about that in the comments below. And if you love this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe, click the bell notifications, and so you won't miss the upcoming video. And make sure you share this video and the link of my channel at Super Ninja Austin 213 all over social media, and where we can grow this channel into a bigger one and make Super Ninja Austin more well known all across the globe, of course, I guess. But until then, I'm gonna be doing this right here, like doing it right here at this in the meantime, like in my nephew's bedroom until I get my place of my own, of course, and of doing it like a little studio of mine, of course. Yeah. I just need to find one somewhere, like a little studio of doing the SNA podcast. But yeah, I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin. This was the 138th episode of the SNA podcast. And unfortunately, I won't be doing a wrestling news video for tomorrow because obviously the holiday, which is Thanksgiving, and also excuse me, but yeah, and this was I should say the latest Thanksgiving Eve edition of the AEW Dynamite and SNA podcast, of course. But I want to wish y'all all my SNA fans and viewers like a very happy Thanksgiving and many more blessings for many years to come. And I'm thankful for having my loyal viewers watching my SNA podcast videos and being the support for me and for the rest of my journalistic career here on YouTube. But yeah, but I will be making a wrestling news video. Will be the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know. We're going to be talking about that this Friday on November 24th, 2023. We're going to be talking about Fightful's articles, on the Fightful article, I should say even. And I hope y'all have a great Thanksgiving and Thursday in general as well. And I'll see you all Friday on November 24th. Until we meet again, Super Ninja Austin, the assassin, is out. Happy Thanksgiving, my SNA fans. Bye-bye.